You know, he's one of these guys in college basketball like SK was. He's a fifth-year senior. He hasn't met. He doesn't lack for confidence at all. Reminds me a lot of SK because he can score from anywhere on the floor. He's an unconscious shooter.
Didn't he shoot his 203?
Yeah, you know,
or something like that.
I'm not a big stat guy, but Antoine did tell me that he's fourth in the country in made threes.
Okay.
On the season.
He shoots a pretty high percentage though.
Oh, in the 40s, almost 43. So whenever, exactly, you know, he's not like some of the guys I grew up with. He makes a lot of them. He makes, you know, and it's not like it's a secret. So he's the first guy on everybody's scouting report. And I've actually seen some teams just deny him the ball on film, like when he doesn't have the ball, just almost in full out denial. And the other four guys playing man to man, Duke pretty much did that to him in the Garden.
Well, from what I read this morning, he doesn't get much help. I mean, from his teammates offensively.
You know, at times, you know, I think they got some guys that shot it well last year. I know they did against us that maybe aren't off to the greatest of starts for them. One of those guys is Burgess. You know, Burgess, the guy that made shots against us last year. I think he's only made 6 threes this year. So as many as he has made, they only have one other player that's made more than 10. You know, and for us, and we're a middle-of-the-road three-point shooting team statistically, we have 4 that have made double-figure threes. So, yeah, they've had guys. They've had some guys I think that shot it well last year that are not shooting it well this year. So, you know, but again, this is where stats can be misleading. Their schedule's been unbelievably tough. I mean, nobody's played a harder schedule than VCU. When you're at Georgia Tech, you're playing Florida State neutral, who's got 3 NBA talented guys. 3 guys. Florida State has 3 guys going to go in the first round of the draft this year or next year. You're playing Duke. You're playing Wisconsin, and then you go to Middle Tennessee State, who I'm telling you is like that's like you might as well go get a triple root canal, and they found out how to win that game. So. They've just been challenged on all fronts. So, you know, their stats are a little more realistic than some other people's. You know, the early season stats can be misleading. They've been dealing in reality. You know, that's a part of scheduling really tough. Obviously, we got a tough week coming up in the next couple for us.
They still.
I was going to say, they still go under have that havoc mentality when it comes defensively in their general style.
Yeah, no, you know, havoc for me is my personal life. You know, doing Sammy's hair and, you know, running around, being a single parent. So I don't really know what havoc is, other than that. What I would tell you is they're a high deflection team. They use their athleticism. Will Wade's a tremendous coach. All you have to do is look at what Chattanooga's doing this year, the team he left, and what he did there. So. They're athletic at every position, so they have great recovery speed. They're aggressive mindset defensively, very different than anybody we've played. You know, most of the teams that we have played are base defense, gap defense teams. GW, Xavier, Nebraska, Butler, all those teams, inside-out defensive teams. We haven't played anybody that plays an aggressive type of defense, whether it's in the half court or the full court, and they do both. They're not all out full court, if that helps you with the question about.
That was always their reputation, but they did it under Shaka. But I mean,
yeah, I mean they didn't hardly press last year.
Yeah.
Well, I just watched the film the last few days against us. They just rained in threes against us last year.
They don't have a high RPI now. It's early in the season, but eventually they will, right?
Oh,
It
yeah.
must be a good RPI game.
Yeah, I mean the RPI has become kind of ridiculous. From what I've heard and seen, I don't pay attention. I've seen a few people refer to it, and I saw you know, it's like, you got to be kidding me. I don't know how they couldn't. You know, in the old days when you played their schedule, it would have been extremely high. So I'm not sure. It's confusing. But they're going to have a great year in the Atlantic 10. You know, Atlantic 10 is a good league with GW, Rhode Island, Dayton, VCU, and Davidson, 5 teams that probably could make the tournament. Richmond, from what I hear, is really good. So, you know, that being said, really all that matters is VCU's a good team. They're at home. They have a tremendous home following. They get great support in Richmond. So that part of it, we're going to be in another hostile environment, back-to-back Saturdays going into the Lions Den. And then they're kind of in a situation, they really need a win because they were unable to get one of those games against the other 4 teams they played. And it's not every day that a team with the cachet of Cincinnati plays VCU home and home. So their fans aren't spoiled. This is a big deal. It'll be a big deal to their fans.
You talked after the game the other day about the struggle you've had getting these guys to play 40 minutes. Is it more with these guys than any of your other teams? I mean, how frustrating is it?
Yeah, I'm getting older, so it's hard, you start thinking about comparing teams and all that. I think, it was a struggle for Larry last year to get guys to play at their an aggressive nature for 40 minutes. We got nice guy syndrome on our team, which is great. We just had maybe the best academic semester I've ever had as a head coach. Octavius is basically graduated. He needs 1 hour. All our seniors are going to graduate. Troy and Kevin are going to graduate next December. We just need a little. We need a little more toughness in us at times. Aggressiveness. We suffer from nice guy syndrome at times.
They don't get that from you, do they?
No, absolutely. You know me. You know it can't be from me. I've been called a lot of things. Not a nice guy. The only thing nice when it comes to me is my parenting. So in all seriousness, I think we've got a lot of guys in the same scenario of trying to get a guy to be his best. For 3 years I've been trying to get Troy. I believe in how good he can be, and I don't want him to. He's come a long way. I want him to keep going that way, and towards being one of the best guards in the country, not settling to just be okay. Same with Octavia, same with Gary. There's a lot of guys on our team just trying to get them that way because development's a big part of our program. That's kind of, it's not that we don't want to sign the top 20 guys in the country, and we signed a great player this year in Jaron Cumberland, but we have to develop guys. So it's important that they embrace that, but at the end of the day, you got to get a guy, they got to want to be, like Troy Copain's got to want to be one of the best guards in the country. And nothing else can matter to him other than his grades. Nothing else can matter.
It's hard to instill that into somebody, though, if it's not there, isn't it?
It's tough. It's tough. You got to eat it, sleep it, breathe it. There's so many good players out there. To separate yourself and to be consistent, it's all about work ethic. Hard work trumps everything. But you at the end of the day, as a coach, you're trying to get a guy there. And that's our job. That's big in our program. It's just a big part of it for us. And we don't get guys that walk in the door all league players. We got to get them to become all league players. So, a lot of it is the hunger zone. They got to have that.
Does this game or this time of year hold any significance for you? It's 3 days until a year when you announced that you wouldn't be coaching. Yeah,
I don't think about that stuff that much, but it's good to be upright. Mm-hmm. Like I said to Bill, I'm just glad I'm coaching this week. I'm hoping to coach Saturday. See, some people already have their retirement planned out. After what happened to me last year, all that stuff in my world, I mean this, all that stuff in my world is out the window. It's not rhetoric. I know I'm saying it, and it's hard for other people to understand it. To me, it's not rhetoric. I mean it. I'm happy to be here. And I'm hoping to be coaching tomorrow, and I'm really excited to coach the game Saturday. I would like to coach against VCU. So but it's every day for me. It's not because we're playing VCU. I mean that. It's an everyday thing. It changed me in a good way, I think. And but it will be exciting to actually coach the game against VCU, not just prepare for it. So I'm hoping I can get there Saturday.
In your eyes, how have you changed in the last year?
I think. At the end of the day, you are what your experiences in life get you to. As you get older, and I'm getting older, I'm not as old as some people like Bill Cook, but as you get older, you tend to appreciate things more, and you realize you're not going to live forever. So, there's a time and another time in your career where you're just trying to fight to build the program. So you're just at different times. With me, I'm changing to where I'm just happy to be have my health and be coaching. And then number one on my list is Sammy to have her health. Number two is myself, my friends, my family. So I'm very conscious of that. That's probably the biggest thing that's changed me. And other people that don't. Like last night was by far the highlight of our season to me. Our players running around the Boys and Girls Club over in Price Hill. It was just awesome. Especially me being from here. I was trying to explain to like Octavius and a few of the guys the neighborhood they were in, very similar to where Tay grew up. We have some, like Corey DeBerry grew up going to the Boys and Girls Club in Saginaw. So it was just a great night, way better than winning a basketball game. I might not have felt that way. I might have thought that, but not to the level that I believe in that now because of probably what happened last year a little bit. That and old age.